Today we're going to go over the live series collections, go over the rewards and how expensive it is and how many stubs you need in order to get the collections done. And the collection rewards this year, the main one, the MLB collection, which means collecting every single live series card, is Randy Johnson. And then collecting the American League, you get Frank Thomas. The National League is Roberto Clemente. So let's take a look at these collections and just go over these. We'll kind of skim through the divisional rewards, or the team rewards, but we will go through them all. So for the Giants, you get an 84 Willie McCovey. He has great power versus righties and good contact versus righties. So the Padres, you end up getting a 93 Tony Gwynn. That's a nice card to have. He has great contact numbers, great defense and speed. I think he's going to be really nice throughout the year, and he probably will get a much better card too. For the Dodgers, you get a 94 MVP series. Kirk Gibson has great contact numbers, has really good power numbers, and the defense and speed is actually there too. This is a well-rounded card. This card's really nice if you can end up doing the Dodgers collection, soon or as fast as you can. That looks like a good card. For the Rockies, we got an 84 Larry Walker. Great contact versus lefties. That's about it. He has great defense, diamond tiered, but for me personally, just the contact versus lefties is pretty good. And then you have the Diamondbacks, 85 Brandon Webb, has good stamina. Per nine's not bad. Good pitch repertoire. So that's the NL West. Now going on to the NL Central cards. For completing the Cardinals, you will end up getting an 85 Lee Smith card. Has pretty solid per nines also. 95K per nine is pretty nice. Got the fastball, slider, cutter, forkball. Solid pitch repertoire. He could be a good arm early on. And then you got the Pirates. Now the Pirates, they have an 82 Willie Stargell. Nothing crazy about this card, but he is pretty nice against lefties. I think if you need like a good gold card, he will get you some home runs. And he could be a good player off the bench. For the Brewers, we got a 90 Robin Yount. Great contact numbers, good defense, speed's okay. And then for the Reds, we have an 83 Tony Perez. Well-rounded hitter. Nothing crazy, nothing really pops, but he does have good numbers against righties. Bronze tier defense, 42 speed. And then you got the Cubs. Now the Cubs gave you an 84 Kyle Hendricks. He has some solid per nines. He throws an 88 sinker, an 80 changeup, 89 fastball, and a 76 curveball. So if you're someone that likes more like the finesse type, he might be your guy. He doesn't really throw high heat velocity, but he is still pretty good. So that is the NL Central. Now on to the NL West. For completing the Nationals, you will get Steven Strasburg. Great K per 9 number, has the fastball, slurve, two seam, and circle change. So again, when I'm saying complete, you have to collect every single card on this team and collect them, lock them in, which means you can't sell the card again. But once you lock them in, you would get the reward for that team. So the Phillies, you have an 87 Mike Schmidt, and he's really nice against lefties. 107 contact, 90 power. Looks pretty good to me. And then the Mets, you get a 96 Gary Carter. I think he might be, on paper, like one of the best cards you get from collections, but he also is one of the highest rated cards. And this card for a catcher can also play first and right field. Really, really nice, especially versus lefties. Has great power versus righties. Solid catching card. Looks really nice for the Mets. And then for the Marlins, you got an 84 Gary Sheffield. I mean, they couldn't just give him a diamond, but I guess, I don't know. I feel like every collection reward for every team should at least be a diamond. He has 95 contact versus lefties, 80 power versus lefties. So versus lefties, that card is pretty good. And then the Braves, you get a 94 Hank Aaron card. Great contact numbers, 85 power versus lefties is nice. If you can parallel him 3 times, he would have 80 power versus righties. Diamond tier defense, 67 speed. This is a really, really nice card. 94 overall. The Braves, I think, would be a very big collection to do early on. But he's a nice card. And then going on to the American League. For the Rangers, you got Mike Napoli. Really good catcher card right here. Amazing hitting attributes for that. Has great power numbers, great contact numbers, and bronze tier defense. There's a lot of good catchers that you can get through collections and everything early on. The Mariners, you get an Edgar Martinez card. Really nice contact numbers. I think just because his contact versus lefties is 122, he could be a really good hitter early on. Like really, really good. I don't think his swing is that bad. This card obviously doesn't have power, so that's the negative. but the card is really nice, I think. And then for the A's, you have an 82 Raleigh Fingers. Great K per 9 number. Got the sinker slider, 4-seam fastball, good 3-pitch mix. And for a gold card, he's not really that bad. The Angels, you get a 95 Troy Gloss. Great contact numbers, great power numbers, or contact numbers versus lefties are great. But he does have great power numbers. This card could be really, really good. Diamond tier defense, 54 speed. A really nice card at the beginning of the year. And then the Astros, you get a 92 Dallas Keuchel. Has great hit per 9, K per 9, and walk per 9 numbers. I mean, 92 overall. This card art looks really, really nice too. But 92 overall has a sinker, slider, changeup, cutter, fastball. Starting pitching wise, this card could be really good. Really, really good card right there. And then going on to the AL Central, the Twins give you a 86 Justin Morneau. Good contact numbers, could be better, but 89 power versus righties. Really solid there. The Royals, they give you an 86 Eric Hosmer. Great contact versus righties. That's probably it for me. Gold tier defense. And then the Tigers, you get an 81 Hal Newhouser. Has great stamina, great hit per 9 and K per 9 numbers. No control. You know, it's going to be very difficult to locate with him. But fastball, sweeping curve, changeup, 2-seam. He's a nice lefty. But without that control, you know, he's definitely hard to locate with. And then the Guardians, you get a Jim Thome. Has good contact numbers, great power versus righties and lefties. You know, that's pretty nice. I feel like he's going to be a big-time threat early on because he's such a power hitter and, you know, his attributes overall are pretty good. So Thome is pretty solid. And then the White Sox, you get a 90 overall Ray Durham. Great contact numbers, power numbers, kind of low, but still not bad. You know, I think the contact makes this card pretty solid. You got gold tier defense and 90 speed. He looks like a really solid card too. And then going on to the AL East, you got the Blue Jays. They give you a 91 Tom Henke. Good hit per 9, great K per 9 numbers. Got the fastball, forkball, and slider. Then for the Rays, you get an 85 Jose Alvarado. Great hit per 9 and K per 9 numbers. Got the 2-seam fastball, slider, curveball, and fastball. So I think because his per 9s are so solid, he could be really good. You know, his pitch repertoire is okay, but it definitely works. Then for the Yankees, you got a nice juicy Gary Sanchez, 89 overall, has 66 contact versus righties, which is low, but everything else about the hitting attributes are nice. 98 contact versus lefties, 96 power versus righties, 111 versus lefties. Really good hitting card for a catcher, and he has gold tier defense, which isn't bad. For the Red Sox, we got an 88 Kevin Youkilis, and he has 86 contact versus righties, 89 versus lefties, 82 power versus righties. So that's pretty good. Diamond tier defense, 40 speed. Can play first, third, and left. And I know this might sound dumb, but I was using him in a home run derby, and his swing is super smooth. Like, I think he might have one of the better swings in the game. So whenever we get this card, or even a better Youkilis card later in the year, I think he's gonna be pretty nasty. You know, so that's Youkilis. And then you got the Orioles. You get an 82 Darren O'Day. And he has 91 hit per 9, 95 K per 9. So great per 9s right there. Got the slider, fastball, sinker, and changeup. So those are the team rewards. Now we're going to go on to the collection rewards. So if you collect all of the NL West, you get a 96 Kenley Jansen. He has 100 hit per 9, 115 K per 9. Got the cutter, slider, and sinker. 3-pitch mix. Nothing crazy, but his per 9s are nasty. And then if you collect all the Central cards from the NL, you get a Prince Fielder card, 92 overall, has great contact and power numbers, and bronze tier defense. I think Prince Fielder is going to be really good. You know, I liked him last year. I thought he was pretty solid. For the NL East, you get a 97 Chase Utley. This is a really nice card. 102 contact versus righties, 96 versus lefties, 90 power versus righties, 85 versus lefties, diamond tier defense, 72 speed. Really, really good card for Chase Utley. And then you got the AL West guys. You get a 96 Michael Young. Great contact numbers. The power numbers are good. Great vision. Gold tier defense, 58 speed. Now, if you use this card enough and get him to parallel 4, where he'll have 80 power versus righties and lefties, this card would be even better. But right now, just base attributes, it's still a pretty solid card. And then going on to the AL Central, you get a 93 Grady Sizemore. Great contact versus righties. Power numbers aren't bad. You know, I feel like he's a little bit better than he was last year. Still great defense and speed. And that is the Central. And then the AL East, you got Mike Messina, 96 overall. has good hit per nine, great K per nine numbers, and walk per nine. Has the 93 sinker, fastball, knuckle curve, cutter, and slider. I think he has a really solid pitch repertoire, and because of that, he could be a really good starting pitcher card, especially early on. But I am hoping that he will be good overall. And then you got the National League. If you collect all the National League guys, you got Roberto Clemente. Has maxed out contact, power numbers are pretty good. 118 vision, got diamond tier defense, 72 speed. Really solid card for the NL. All the AL guys get you Frank Thomas. And Frank Thomas, I've always had fun with him. If you guys have watched me in the past, sometimes I throw him at third base and he does fine there. But this card, hitting wise, definitely the #1 card I would say in the game at the start. Common tier defense, who cares? 50 speed. But hitting wise, he's a problem. And then you got the main reward being Randy Johnson. And he has 105 hit per nine, 125 K per nine, 79 walk per nine with a 99 fastball, 91 slider, 87 splitter, 81 slurve, and a 97 two-seam fastball. I do wish this card had a changeup also, but maybe that splitter is going to be pretty effective. Great K per nine numbers. You know, I know people mentioned the hit per nine being at 105, especially being the collection reward, but he is a pretty good card in my opinion, and hopefully he will be elite. Now, with all that said, going over all of these cards, you want to know how much do they cost? So I'm going to show you guys a website which you guys can look at. It's called showzone.io. I'll put it in the description if you guys want to follow it and check it out. But they keep track of all the live series, and normally I do this manually, but this is pretty much accurate information, like up to date. So even if I'm showing you guys today, this right now, this number, you guys can go check out the site. You can also look at like stuff for flipping and stuff like that, but I don't really flip, so I don't care about that. But I'm just trying to see what the price is. So if we just do a quick refresh, right now, Randy Johnson would cost you 1.8 million stubs. Now it is early on, so normally I would give this a plus or minus 200K because the last couple of days, they've been around 2.1 million, 2.1 million for collections. So Randy Johnson, to get every single live series card, that is how much it costs. Now, in order to get Frank Thomas himself costs almost 900K, which is pretty high. And we can also order this top to down. The National League collection being Roberto Clemente is around 917K. So Clemente is actually more expensive than Frank Thomas, which I prefer to have Frank Thomas, but Clemente is more, I guess, of a 5-tool player. So there is that. But both of those collection rewards I think are going to be really good and pretty solid. The other thing I like about this is you can see top to bottom. So if we look at the bottom, the easiest teams to collect are the Oakland A's at around 3.5K. That's pretty cheap. You got the Colorado Rockies, the Pirates, the Tigers, and the Reds. You know, those are the cheapest ones. What I recommend you guys doing though, if you're trying to work on collections, is go after all the low cards first. Like get every common card, then get every bronze card, and then get every silver card, and then work your way up. And as you're playing, you know, getting free packs, you'll maybe pack some gold cards, pack some diamond cards. But right now, you know, these are the collection prices, and that's not bad. Now going back a little bit, because we showed off all of the cards, just to show you guys how expensive some of these collection rewards are. So let's see, the NL Central reward, which is Prince Fielder. He's the cheapest collection reward pretty much, like the big one. And that's the whole division. He costs around 115K. That's not bad. The Central for Grady Sizemore is 130K. So that is also pretty respectable. You know, for 130K, you can have a solid diamond at the beginning of the year and have a whole division done. And then taking a look at the AL East, that's the next one. That gets you the Mike Mussina card. So Mussina, I feel like he could be a really solid starting pitcher early on and hopefully throughout the whole year. Taking a look at the NL West, that's the next biggest collection. They're going for around 330K. So that would get you that Kenley Jansen card. And then the biggest collections are obviously the East. The NL East is pretty big. Chase Utley is a, I guess, desirable card, but there's a lot of big diamonds in the NL East. Like the big ones, Acuna, DeGrom, Soto, you know, so there's definitely some expensive players in the NL East. And then the AL West is the last one, and you get that Michael Young card, which is pretty solid. He's going for around 533K, but that's pretty much because Trout and Ohtani themselves are pretty much 400K. You know, the Angels collection itself is 450K. So it's pretty expensive, but that's the reason that the AL West is always the #1 and most expensive division out there. But again, to do all of this, 1.8 million stubs, it's not even that bad. I feel like it's much cheaper than it was, or it's about the average that it was last year. I think last year it hovered around 2 million. And this is also the start of the year. Like, this is literally pretty much day one prices from the official release. So I will say it's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen with the market because so much can happen. And the way that the game is this year, I feel like it's a little bit harder to get packs. Maybe it's even harder to get stubs, but you still will be able to manage and get everything that you need to do. So the prices right now at this price, I think is fine. And also it's going to be interesting to see how prices, cater, because they changed how quick sell prices work. So investing might be a little bit different. And investing can not only help you get more stubs with players, but it might keep players up longer. And especially when the MLB season starts, a lot of these prices could shoot back up because people will be investing for roster updates. If we take a random player like, let's look at the Mariners. If we take a player like, who's a good player? Who's a young player? Like Jared Kelenic. Where's he at? So Kelenic, he's a 72, maybe the Mariners are hoping he has a big year, but maybe you yourself are like, oh, he's definitely a player that's going to have a big season. He's going to get upgraded a lot. So right now he's a bronze. He can end up being a gold by the end of the year and his price can double or triple. So that's just an example. Now, typically players that are rated 90 and above, their prices stay up higher. And there's even times where their prices will shoot up even more after the season starts. So you got to pay attention to some of the low diamonds. And even like the diamonds that are 89 rated, like Judge and Cole, because if they hit up to 90 overall, their prices can continue to go up. So right now we have a pretty steady market, but it's before the MLB season has started, before roster updates, and the prices right now sit at about 1.8 million. So as a no money spent player, our goal is always to try to get that collection done. That's our goal, to try to get upwards of 2 million stubs, get Randy Johnson, and we'll be pretty much set for the year. I think we'll have a pretty solid team, some solid cards. But let me know what you guys think about the collections this year and what you guys think about Frank Thomas, Roberto Clemente, Randy Johnson being the collection reward. I know some people were iffy about having a pitcher as the collection reward. It's the first time they actually ever did that, so it's kind of surprising. But I think Randy Johnson, at least I'm hoping he's going to be a good card. So that's going to do it for this one. As we're doing our no money spent series, we're going to be working towards completing these collections. So if you guys are no money spent also, make sure to check out our series. But other than that, if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, drop a like in the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.